93 WIBC, it's Terry Stacy. Joe Clark was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer just before his 28th birthday and just 2 months before he married his bride, Amanda. Amanda has found a way to keep friends and family updated on Joe's condition by writing a blog that we found titled Cocktails and Chemo. And she joins us now to talk about Joe, her husband, as well as this upcoming event that will happen next weekend. Amanda, how are you?
Hi, good morning. We're doing okay.
I have to tell you, Amanda and I have tried to connect this week, and it's been a challenge because she's come back home here to Indianapolis. She's down in Orlando is where she and Joe live, and their daughter, and she's come back home. Her grandmother had a heart attack, and actually is doing very well. But she's also got that on top of everything else she's been dealing with. And by the way, this is her last day of work down in Orlando as a news reporter. Is that what you do, Amanda?
That's right. I've been a news reporter for about 8 years, so I report on all the good, bad, and crazy down here in Florida.
Yeah, I know it, but it's what a beautiful place to be. She's down around the Orlando area. How did you and Joe meet?
We went to college together, and I actually dated his roommate. So it was years later after college. I was living in Champaign, Illinois as a reporter, and he was heading to do some training to open up this franchise, and he gave me a call out of nowhere to see if he could stay with me for just a couple of days while he was doing training. And I thought it was very strange. I hadn't really heard from this guy since college. I was kind of trying to find a way out of it. Then the night before, he called me and said, "Oh, it's not a few days. It's actually 3 weeks. And I'm bringing my cousin." So I opened up my home, and by week 2, it was like I just knew he was kind of my soulmate, and he says the same thing. We just knew it.
You guys, did you grow up on the south side here in Indianapolis?
I did. I went to Roncalli High School.
Now, how long have you been married?
We've been married 2 years. We actually celebrated our wedding anniversary in the hospital after his surgery in Houston, Texas, and he was released from the hospital on our second wedding anniversary, which was probably the best gift you could ever get.
Just tell us about Joe.
He is pretty amazing. I just left my house this morning with him wearing a chemo pack, up cleaning bottles for our daughter, playing with her, making sure I have my coffee so I can get up and make it out the door to work. He makes you feel like you really need to be a better person because he's going through all this and just keeps on going, keeps on worrying about everyone else around him. He takes care of his mom and his brother. He's just a good-hearted person, and I think it's why it's so hard to watch something like this happen to someone because you just know he can do so much. You know that he has so much potential to touch so many lives, and this is what kind of keeps holding him back. But he's making the best of it, and we have a scan in a couple of weeks, and we both have decided we don't really care what the doctor tells us. We're just going to say, whatever. What can we do about the tumors and the cancer? At this point, we just need to go day by day, and it's kind of where we came to the decision for me to take some time away from working so I can be with him, and we can make chemo days like coffee dates and make good days really good because we can be together, and bad days I can be there to make him lunch. So he's something else. He's kind of the life of the party, I think people would say.
Well, where is he in the diagnosis? When we mentioned that he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer before his 28th birthday, and then you got married a couple months later. And where is he right now?
He almost made it about a year. He had a surgery to reconnect his colon and take out a pretty large tumor back in 2011, right before we got married. We ended up canceling our honeymoon and doing all that so he could get started on chemotherapy. We almost went about a year where the chemo and that kind of kept things off. Then we found out we were pregnant, which was like the greatest day of our lives, last March. And he got a bad blood test about a week later. We found out that it was back, but it had spread to his peritoneum, which is like the lining of your body, the lining of your stomach. So we flew to Houston, Texas to have a pretty major surgery. He spent 46 days in the hospital. I was 8 months pregnant. And we kind of rallied through, got him home to Orlando just in time to have the baby. And he's finishing up his 4th round of chemo right now. Then we go for a scan and kind of wait and see what we do from there. But he's considered stage 4 at this point.
You found this way to communicate with your family and friends with the blog. What has that been like for you writing Cocktails and Chemo?
Yeah, it started as a way to make sure that the family was getting correct information because you find that people start playing telephone. You call your mom, who calls your aunt, who calls your cousin, who calls whoever. Next thing you know, you've got a family member calling you saying, Joe has a month to live. And I was like, no, where did that come from?
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'm going to start writing this just so everyone kind of is on the same page. And then it kind of became so much more for me because I felt like I'm given this little window into a life that a lot of people lead and not a lot of people know about. And watching him go through this, just everything is so new. And I just felt like I need to document this. I need to get this down. I don't want these feelings that I'm having in my head I don't want to forget how this felt. I don't want to do that. And then from there, I can't believe the amount of people that email me and say, thank you. You put it exactly how I'm feeling right now as my wife is going through this. And so that feels good. I think it's a survival method for me. I get it out, and then I can walk away and try and live life from there. I don't want to be sad or go live in a hole somewhere. I just don't. Kind of view in perspective.
It's cocktailsandchemo.com. You've got a lot of good friends here on the South Side that are putting together a fundraiser because cancer not only affects families emotionally and physically, but financially. And I imagine there's been some pretty tough times to make ends meet.
Absolutely. You know, we're pretty young.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of getting started. I mean, Joe's just a young entrepreneur. He's signed everything he can to try and open up these little businesses. I'm a journalist, so
yeah.
Yeah. But, I think, you know. But, it's been hard. And when we stayed in Houston, we were there for almost 3 months. It got very expensive. The flight, I wasn't working. If we haven't had these friends and family that have been so wonderful, I don't know what we would have done. It scares me to think how anyone gets through this because it's a shocker. I mean, even just the little things like groceries become like, holy moly.
Amanda, is your maiden name Evans?
Yes, it is.
Amanda Evans went to Roncalli High School, and there is a fundraiser that is coming up this coming weekend. We're going to talk to Tracy Jordan here in just a second. She will give us the details on how you can be a part of a fun event, but also raising some money for some really good people. Amanda, I'm going to let you go. This is your last day of work down there, and you got a lot on your shoulders right now. So I can't thank you enough for spending time with us and telling us about Joe and you. We sure are thinking about you and just wish you the very best. And
thank you so much for just even taking the time to talk to us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Joining us also is Tracy Jordan, who's helped put together a fundraiser called Cocktails and Chemo next Saturday evening on the South Side. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Hi, Terry. I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
What is your relationship with Amanda and Joe?
Amanda is a dear friend of mine that I've known since high school, and she is just one of the most giving, loving people there is. And so several friends and I just wanted to get together and help Amanda and Joe during this most difficult time.
Yeah. How would you describe them as a couple to somebody who didn't know them?
They truly are just the salt of the earth, genuine to the core, and just full of love and life.
Financially, it is not easy. Explain to us what Cocktails and Chemos will be all about next Saturday.
It's going to be a really fun event at St. Rock Parish Gym. It runs from 5 to 11, and we have a lot of great activities in store. We have 4 different local bands, 3G, Zach Salez, Bad Monkeys, and the Norwood Boys. In addition, we have several local vendors that have signed on so that we have kind of like a taste of atmosphere, if you will. Iozzo's, Giacomo Pizza, The Palms, Primo, Kilroy's, Firehouse Subs.
Wow.
We even have the Produce Mom, a local celebrity here in town who's also a Roncalli graduate. And then we have Sun King Brewery and the great folks at Monarch who are bringing some amazing local craft brews to the event to make it ever so fun. And we will also have some great packages through the silent auction and some other fun little things that we're keeping a little bit of a surprise. So it's an event for all. It's open to the public. It's a way to get the community to surround around this wonderful family.
Is there a website?
It is Cocktails and Chemo Fundraiser. Eventbrite.com. So go there and get your tickets ahead of time. Make sure you get your seats, and you can also reach us directly through the Facebook page, the Cocktails and Chemo Facebook page, or the blog if you'd like to contact us about tickets, volunteer opportunities, or to donate to the auction.
Okay.
For anyone that is unable to attend, we have partnered with Fifth Third Bank, and they are so graciously accepting walk-in donations for Joe and Amanda as well. It is under the Cocktails and Chemo fundraiser for Joe Clark. So visit your local Fifth Third branch to be able to donate that way as well.
Tracy Jordan, who has really worked hard for her friends in this fundraiser called Cocktails and Chemo next Saturday evening at St. Roch Parish Gym. Don't miss this one. It's for a good cause. Tracy, thank you.
Thanks so much, Terry. We really appreciate it.
Author Charlene Harris joins us after today's top stories on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.